Record. Okay, we're recording.
Thank you.
Okay. So I want to see if we can't give Ben here. I got that on the phone. Good. So please, everybody, let's give Ben Walls here for showing up. Come on.
Exactly. The clicker's up here.
Pick us up here. There you go.
No, I have a couple of really solid ones.
Okay.
Ready to go. All right, I guess first of all, thank you for having me here. This is my second time back to Santa Barbara to deliver. Very happy to be back. I was here the last time. Dan mentioned that they had the Realty 411 with Linda and Suzanne. Did a big event. I came out here for that, and Dan invited me to come back out. And so thank you very much for inviting me back out, Dan. I'm very happy to be here. Did everybody get a folder? We passed around some folders. I want to make sure everybody got one. Okay, fantastic. Now, the information inside the folder, you can take that home with you. Obviously, you can look at it whenever. I'm going to ask for your eyes and ears here during the presentation. And then, like Dan said, if you have a question during the middle of the presentation, I will stop and address it. I'll try to keep my answers sort of brief during the presentation. And then we will have a sort of longer Q&A where I can do more expanded questions. And you have a question, I have an answer, you have another question on top of that, that kind of thing. So we can go through that. I want to make sure when everybody's left here that they've left with some education and they feel like their time here was well spent. So that's my goal. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Invest America is a turnkey investment firm. What we do is we deliver turnkey investment properties. And what turnkey means, for those of you that are not familiar with that, turnkey basically means in anything, whether it's turnkey property, a turnkey business, or a turnkey, whatever it might be, that means that basically all of the moving parts and all the systems that could go wrong, all those things are pretty much done for you. So if you were to go buy a McDonald's franchise, that's a quote-unquote turnkey business, right? You invest your money, you turn your key in the door, assuming you have good employees and managers and things that kind of run that thing for you, that can be a turnkey business. When it comes to real estate investing, turnkey means that you walk in the door, you make your investment, and you're getting cash flow from day one. So all of the renovations already been done, any maintenance things that have been done, you've got a tenant that's already in the property that's paying a monthly cash flow, and you've got a management team in place to manage that thing for you. So turnkey real estate investing is really more about hands-off, passive investing. You don't have to live down the street from your property. You don't have to deal with toilets and trash and hammers and nails. Really, the turnkey investment property is one that all of those things are taken care of for you. And really, your job is simply to select the investment and sit back and start collecting checks. So we'll get into that a little bit more about what that means, and we'll also talk a little bit more about a turnkey service that we offer towards the end. But really, what we do. And turnkey real estate investing, I talked about it, it's done for you. It's a way to passively invest in real estate, select your investments, and start collecting checks. What we do is we go out and purchase distressed homes. We purchase them from banks, from tax sales, private sellers, just some on the MLS, some not, all the different ways that you can buy property. We go out and buy distressed properties. We use our own cash and credit lines to go out and do that. Then we perform a full scope renovation, top to bottom, everything, the roof, plumbing, foundation if needed, floors, inside and out, the full scope of work. Every job's a little bit different. Obviously every home's a little bit different. Sometimes you walk into a home and you've got to spend 30 grand in renovations. Sometimes you walk into a home and you've only got to spend about 10 grand in renovations. So each home is different, but at the end of the day, each home has a top quality renovation. Pass any city inspection, municipal inspection, third-party inspection, any set of eyes will go through the property and say, wow, that's a great renovation. Yes, ma'am?
So would your property pass the VHAs and VA and FHAs and that type of inspection?
Yeah. Any inspection in the book when it comes to the properties, the properties will pass. Now, there's oftentimes an inspector comes out, whether that's a city inspector or whoever it is, or a buyer that orders a third-party inspector. And an inspector's job is really to find things wrong with the house. That's what they're there to do. If an inspector walks into a house, no matter how nice it is, and he walks out with nothing wrong, it's almost as if that guy didn't do his job. So we know that there's going to be some inspection things that are just on every single home. One, because an inspector has a job to do, and two, it's almost impossible. As good as we can possibly be in our renovations and our scope of work, you can't always find everything, and that's the reason why we do inspections. We do inspections ourselves, and we encourage all of our buyers to do inspections as well. And then once we're done with that full scope renovation, we lease the property to qualified tenants, and then we have the property as managed on your behalf. So what you do then as the investor, we've sort of taken the heavy lifting. We find the properties, do the renovations, do all sort of the hard work of putting the investment together. Then what your job is to do is determine what your investment amount is. How much do you have to invest? Where does it come from? Is it a 401k? Is it an IRA? Is it cash sitting in the bank? Is it a CD that's getting ready to mature? Is it other investment properties that you're getting ready to refinance or pull cash out of? So your job really is to determine how much do you have to invest, where does that investment come from. The next step is examine your short-term and long-term needs. As an investor, I see a variety of different people here. I see some people that are closer to retirement age. I see some people that are younger, that are just in their mid to early 20s just getting started. So you're going to have maybe different investment goals. You're going to have possibly different risk tolerances. And you're going to have maybe a different level of activity of what you want to be involved in for the investment. So determine your short-term and long-term investment needs. That's going to help us determine which property is going to be right for you. Then decide if leverage is going to be used. And leverage, I just mean financing. Are you going to use financing or not? We encourage the use of financing in a lot of cases, and we also encourage the use of buying with all cash. So it's really up to you. Again, that's a personal decision based on what your circumstance looks like. If you are going to use leverage or financing, we want you to go get pre-approved with a lender before we start shopping for products. Okay? So make sure you're pre-approved. That's going to speed the process along. And then select your investment. Sign your purchase contract. You make an earnest money deposit at that time, and then you start going through the closing process. Once the property is closed, you start collecting income checks. The markets that we cover are Kansas City, Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee, Dallas and Fort Worth metro area in Texas, and Houston, Texas. I'll briefly touch on each of the cities now as we go through. Kansas City is high cash flow properties. It's one of the best price to rent ratio cities in America, right in the heartland. We've got a very good demographic base, and we've got a good price to rent ratio. That's one of the things that differs Kansas City from some very other markets. So for instance, out here in California, if you buy an investment property and you're buying it for rental yields, you may get 2%, 3%, if that. Okay, typically out here, if you're buying out here for properties, you're buying for some appreciation and capital growth. In Kansas City, where double-digit yields are every single day. And there are some properties, obviously, that produce single-digit yields in Kansas City, but the price-to-rent ratio is favorable enough to earn double-digit yields on every single property that we live in. We've got lower than average unemployment rates. That's always, no matter what, it's the early 90s, the mid-90s, early 2000s, or what it is today, recession or no recession. Kansas City always has a lower than average unemployment rate. We've got a very diverse workforce to pull workers in from. One of Forbes magazine's top downtowns, the cleanest cities in America. Recently, $9 billion in the last 10 years was spent in downtown revitalization in Kansas City. If you go to Kansas City, if you're not familiar about it, you'll be surprised at how hip and vibrant the city is, and also how clean the city is. That's one of the comments I get from almost every investor that comes to town. Wow, we left Kansas City, it was just beautiful, it was clean, trash was picked up. It wasn't the typical American downtown city. Very diverse industries that support the economy. The properties that we offer in Kansas City range from $30,000 or so on the low end up to about $90,000 or so on the high end. And these are rents between $600 to $1,300 a month, and they're A, B, and C class properties. Towards the end of the presentation, I'll talk a little bit more about what is an A class, B class, and a C class property and what the differences of those are. The next market we're in is Memphis, Tennessee. One of the most affordable homes in America. One of the most affordable cities to buy homes in America. Sixth best market for real estate investing according to CNN. It is the major headquarters to several Fortune 500 companies. And properties in Memphis range between $70,000 and $130,000, and with rents between $850 to $1,300 a month. And we offer A and B class properties in Memphis. Dallas-Fort Worth metro area in Texas. one of the fastest growing economies, fastest booming, not only with job growth and population growth. Median income is rising, and property values and rent rates are rising quite a bit as well. Number one MSA for job growth in the USA. Houston and Dallas kind of go back to back, year over year for this. Number one, number two, Houston and Dallas. If you were to talk about them two together, they certainly have a handle on the fastest growing cities in America. Number one MSA for population growth in the United States. Fourth largest metro area in the United States. Home to 18 Fortune 500 companies. Properties in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that we offer range between $100,000 and $250,000, with rents between $1,000 and $2,500 a month. And these are basically A and B class properties that we offer there as well. Houston, Texas, very similar to Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a larger city. Houston is now the new energy capital of the world. Most of the energy companies are headquartered there, if not all of them. They're starting to expand. ExxonMobil's building a huge campus on the north side of Houston. So job growth is just like Dallas. Houston is just booming. When you go to Dallas or Houston and you meet 10 people, 7 of them will be from somewhere else. And they will move there within the last year or so. Okay? Ranked number one healthiest real estate market in the United States, according to NOL. Top 2 cities in the USA for job growth, and again, Houston and Dallas are jockeying each other for those positions here in the last 2 years. Ranked number one city to live and work in America. Ranked number one labor market in America, according to Biz Journals. And the properties there, very similar to Dallas. They're between $100,000 to $250,000, and the rent range is between $1,000 and $2,500 a month. To give you an example of some of the properties that we go through here, this is a Memphis property, 3932 Pleasant Cove, Memphis, Tennessee. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home. You see it's a ranch-style, single-level home. It's got a garage there in the back. It's a 1,000-square-foot home, and this particular home rents for $795 per month. Now, one of the things I wanted to do, obviously I can't bring you into the city, and I can't have you walk through this home, but what we can do is, being prepared, we can take a walkthrough video of the home and then show that to you. And that's what I'd like to do now, is go ahead and flip to a video of this property. And Dan, I may need some technical assistance here.
I'm here if you need me.
Is that? No. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Pleasant Cove. And volume.
Hello guys, welcome to Invest America. We're in Memphis, Tennessee today, looking at 3932 Pleasant Cove. Just finished with the rehab. Wanted to let you see the house and pan the area real quick. We're over here in the Summer Graham area. The house sits in a cul-de-sac, real quiet neighborhood. Great school districts, guys. Great school district. Everybody wants to live over here and send their kids to school over here. All right, as we're back to our subject property, we'll go to the driveway. See my broom there, I was doing a little sweeping. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see to the right, we have one-car carport, vinyl siding. We have a new roof, all new windows around the property, vinyl windows as well as vinyl siding. As we come into the backyard, you can see we've got a nice, spacious backyard, fenced in, nice oak trees for shade. Little storage shed in the back. Here's a view of the back of the house. As you can see, brand new architectural roof. The back door here leads into the kitchen. We're not going to go in there, we're going to go back around the front. Neighbor sitting outside enjoying a little shade today. It's been really hot here in Memphis, folks, but it's kind of cooled down a little bit today. All right, guys. Here we go. Brand new hardwood floors, all brand new paint. ceiling fans, mini blinds. Guys, this closet back here, I actually created that. This was actually an open area, and in the corner here was a doorway back into the kitchen. What I had to do was create a spot for our refrigerator. And instead of just having a jetted out closet on the side, I elected to go ahead and put a closet there and make entryway for our refrigerator. All right, we've got our hallway here. As you can see, freshly painted walls, new hardwood floors. To our right, you can see our beautiful kitchen, brand new kitchen cabinets, brand new countertops, new sink, new faucets, new ceramic towel, dishwasher. We've got our new laundry hookup here. I'll pan around here so you can see the spot where I had to make for the refrigerator. Over here to our right, we've got our gas stove, kitchen cabinets, new countertops. Just a beautiful, beautiful kitchen. Give you one look back here, new lights. I had to redesign this kitchen, guys, so it would fit in this house. All right, we'll come back in our hallway. To our left, we've got our first bedroom. Nice ceiling fans, walk-in closets, new windows, mini blinds, new carpet. Pan around to our left, right, and in our next left we have same ceiling fans, carpet, new paint. Pan in here, as you can see, we have new windows and blinds. There's a closet over there for this bedroom. All new switches, covers. Back over here to straight across the hallway, we've got our third bedroom. Again, new ceiling fans, new paint around all the walls with mini blinds, new windows. Here's your closet for this bedroom. And back around here to our left, we've got a brand new bathroom, all new ceramic tile, all new tiles around the shower, brand new shower heads, new plumbing, new fixtures. I got a brand new toilet. I had to knock out a closet in here. We had to run this corner to give us more room so I could have a larger vanity. As you can see, I've got a brand new vanity, mirror, lights. Come back into our hallway. Give you a quick view of the backyard from the kitchen. You saw it from the other angle earlier. It's a really nice big backyard. We'll exit back out through here. Guys, again, we're looking at Memphis turnkey rental property here in Memphis, Tennessee, 3932 Pleasant Cove. Guys, don't let this one get away from me. This is just a beautiful, beautiful house. Custom wood shutters, brand new roof, security doors on the front and back. Guys, stay tuned to our YouTube channel for any updates for new properties. Again, this is Lauren Shive from Best America here in Memphis, Tennessee at 3932 Pleasant Cove.
Hey guys, would you help me give my business partner, Mr. Lauren Shive, a hand there? Thank you, Lauren. Thank you very much.
So is that
That house is on your list. Actually, if you open up your folder, that I believe this house was $69,000. You know, check that list. Double check me on that. 65. Okay. Yes.
that's the A or B or C class?
That is a B plus class. It's sort of right between A and B, but that's it. That we
So
can
is
say.
it the neighborhood that makes the difference in the classes?
That and just sort of the rent amount per square foot on that particular one. That home is a little bit older. The area, the homes that you saw there were sort of a little bit smaller homes. And so we've got, a value range and a rent range that gives us what we call B class. And I'll talk a little bit more about what A, B, and C class properties mean, and how we sort of define it, but I will also say that how we define it is not necessarily an industry standard.
How much money comes back?
No, that's not it either. It's just, it more to do with area and price to rent ratio. That's more or less, and again, that's not an industry standard because there is no industry standard for labeling properties single-family homes. There is for commercial property, but there is not for single-family residential. We've sort of loosely developed one, and it's kind of what we go by as a guide, but yeah, it's not industry standard by any means.
Was there a ride with this?
I'm sorry?
There is one.
It was a one-car carport, yes ma'am.
And I saw a chimney, but it didn't turn out a fireplace.
Chimneys are oftentimes not, that's right, for flue, or chimney, furnace flues, or let's see, how do we get back into this, Dan?
Sure.
That-
Okay, we'll do F5?
We have cost retail.
Yeah, what was the,
okay, I'll jump, we'll just,
yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
Ken, what was the
Okay.
what was the rehab cost on that one?
I have to go double check on that, yeah. I'm a sharp guy, but I don't have everything in my brain.
That's good.
We'll move here to the Dallas-Fort Worth property. Here's a property we've got. This one is available for sale right now today as well. 224 Lakeway Court in Benbrook, Texas. This is on the southwest side of Fort Worth. This is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,325 square feet. This one rents for $12.95 a month, and it's priced right now for $132. This particular property, I don't have a video of this one. Otherwise, I'd love to show it to you. I will show you a few additional pictures, and if you'll email me, I'll send you every picture that we've got on the home. This property, I do know the scope of work on this property. This was about a $22,000 rehab on this one. I only remember that because it was just freshly done, and we were discussing it with the GCs down there recently. This property sat on the rental market for 2 days before we had 2 well-qualified tenants waiting for the property. We leased it that same week that it went out, and you know, full asking rent, full security deposit. I mean, I think they had a 720-something credit score. So that just gives you a little bit of the idea of the rental demand in some of these markets. And it's not only the rental demand for the market, but it's also the rental demand for top quality, nice homes in those markets. So no matter how good your market may be, as far as the demand for buyers and for tenants, if your property's not looking good and smelling good, and it's not, you know, a presentable property and it's not done right, you're not going to get the higher end of the rents.
Do you have like a set standard for tenants, like animals, dogs, and things?
We do, and it sort of varies by market, it varies by property class, and it also varies a little bit by the stringentness or the particulars of the manager that we have managing that property.
Right.
So, for example, our managers in Texas, the guys that own the management company are all attorneys, and they are, I mean, by the book as you can't believe, okay? And so no pit bulls, no this, if the dog's over this many pounds, it costs you this much in non-refundable deposit. If you have 1 pet, it costs you this. If he's got 2, you know, so on and so forth. And so the bottom line is, yes, we do take pets, but the tenant's going to have to come out of pocket with some non-refundable deposit in order for us to take that. Let's talk about a Houston property. This is 1405 Greenwood Road. This is in Baytown, Texas, which is on the east side of Texas. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,885 square feet. It rents for $13.50 a month. This one priced at $135. I do have a video of this property, so we'll cut to that video. One thing I will tell you before we cut to the video, when we bought the home, it was a 3-bed, 3-bath. Okay, we converted one of the front rooms into a full bedroom, and so now it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. When we go to look at comps and values on the home, we have to go outside of the subdivision to find comparable 4-bedroom, 3-baths. There just aren't any in that market. In that particular subdivision. But this one was also a very quick one to lease. I think we had this one on the rental market for 4 days before we had multiple applications, and we picked the best qualified applicant. Full market rent. In fact, this one I was kind of going back and forth to my managers. They're pretty conservative, and that's the way I like them to be. But at certain times, I like to push the market. You know, I like to see what's going on with the market and really test it. And especially markets that are rapidly appreciating, like Dallas and Houston are, they're not only appreciating for price, but they're also appreciating for rents. And so what I like to do, I like to go in and I like to push the rents. I like to push the market. If the market's growing, how do we know where it is that we're just going with what we've always done? Right? Doesn't make sense. So what we need to do...
4 days, why not go 14?
Right, so I told the manager, in fact, I said, listen, they wanted to rent it for $1,300. And I said, no, absolutely not. I said, the very least we're going to go for is $1,350. And I said, in fact, I want you to really list it for $1,400. And they said, well, we don't want to sit there for so long. I said, listen, okay, just list it for $1,350. And I said, the way this is going to work, if this thing leases within a week at $1,350, the next time you're going to do what I want you to do. Okay? Right. So, what did I say? 14? I wanted them to do at least 14. I think we would have got it. But anyway, water under the bridge, it's leased for $1,350 a month. The next time this tenant boots out, or if they want to stay, we redo the lease, they're going to pay $1,400, or we're going to find a different tenant that does. So, let's go ahead and cut to the video of this property, so you guys can see.
It's pending.
It is pending. It actually just became pending literally like yesterday. But yes, but still worth showing you. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm not the guru of the tech.
Okay.
How do we get back to
This game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, guys. Lauren Shive with Invest America, looking at turnkey real estate out here in Houston, Texas. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for tuning in. We are at 1405 Greenwood, Baytown, Texas. Just completed the rehab. Wanted to stop in real quick out here and see how it was going, what it looked like. And guys, let me tell you, it looks great. I'm going to pan around the neighborhood so you can see what it looks like. As you can see, all the yards are nicely manicured. This is the one across the street here. Very nice neighbors. Everybody loves the area. It's real quiet, real reserved. Several schools in the area. So, should tent up real quick. Back to our subject property, 1405 Greenwood, folks. We've got fresh paint on the outside. Landscaping still in the budget. That to come as we make our way around the property here. I'm going to take you around to the left side of the home. As you can see, we have a gate back here. Opens up into a nice sized backyard patio. Excuse the noise from AC, guys. Here we are in the backyard. Nice fenced in area. As you can tell, there was an addition at one time. Nicely done. We'll make our way back to the front. Guys, this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home with a 2-car garage. Again, 4 beds, 3 baths, 2-car garage. 1405 Greenwood, Baytown, Texas. Houston is a really, really growing area. We should expect to have this one rented fairly quickly. Guys, as we enter the front door, you can see all brand new tile right in the foyer here. All brand new hardwood. To our left, we've got a dining room, nicely painted walls, light fixture, all brand new blinds. Back to our right, big hardwoods, new fan, vaulted ceiling. Guys, this is nice and roomy, real spacious, open floor plan. Goes right into our kitchen. Got new countertops, new appliances, new hardware on our cabinets, brand new tile floor. There's our laundry area. To our left, we have our two-car garage. A little dark right now, guys, but we'll come in and pan around. I want you to see the brand new installed hot water tank. It's brand new. Double ovens, range cooktop. Got a nice little bar area over here to our left. Put a couple of bar stools. Back here to our right, guys, we've got our first bedroom. It's off the main living room. Really large. Could be considered one of the masters. We would have two in that case. This is going to be, I guess, bedroom number one. Ceiling fans, all brand new. Paint on the walls and trim. New carpet. We've got brand new ceramic tile on the baths. New vanity. New toilets. We've got a stand-up shower here, folks. Come out of here, back to our left. Come back into the main living area and enter the hallway. As you can see, all new carpet in here. To our left is our other master bedroom. Ceiling fan, new carpet, paint on the walls, trim, new mini blinds. Here to your left, you have your vanity, sink, new countertops. To our other left, a nice big walk-in closet. On the right side of the sink, you have your toilet and your really nicely finished shower. All brand new handles. Really nice. Back into the master, down into the hallway. First door to our left is our other bathroom. New vanity. Top, new lights, all new paint. New ceramic tile. New toilet. New blinds. Tile, shower surround. Back in the hallway. A third bedroom. New ceiling fan, blinds, carpet, and paint throughout this room. Very large bedrooms over here, guys. It's going to make this house really desirable. And our final bedroom over in front of the house, as you can see, very nice, elegant bay windows with blinds, new ceiling fan, all new paint and trim paint on the walls and trim, good sized closet, walk-in closet, new carpet. And so you can see the view outside the bedroom here.
That front bedroom was the one we converted. It was a front room.
Right
We
down the
converted it to a
hallway.
bedroom.
Give you another view of this open floor plan. Got your kitchen to the right, vaulted ceiling living room, hardwood floors, foyer, and then a dining room on the other side. Guys, thank you for tuning in here in Houston, Texas with Invest America, looking at turnkey real estate properties, guys. We're at 1405 Greenwood, Baytown, Texas. Freshly rehab property. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more updates and videos of other properties.
All
What's
right.
that one? What's the price of that one?
135?
And you said that was only 22,000 for all of that remodeling?
No, that one, 22 was a Lakeway
Oh,
Court.
okay.
I have to look at this one. I want to say this one was similar in scope, but it was a little bit more in scope. We added that addition in there. I would have to look, but I would guesstimate between around the 25 mark, 25,000.
So do you import labor from Haiti? I mean, how do you get that sort of rate when around here, even an unlicensed handyman contractor makes $35, $45 an hour.
Wait till you see. Well, I suppose it's the same way how you can buy a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, 1,800 square feet in a good neighborhood for under $1 million, you know? So, yeah, economies, you know, I don't have the full explanation for that, but there's definitely a difference between what we can get things done for, what things cost, things like that. But even that was, you know, I'll tell you guys, especially in our Texas markets, we pay a decent labor cost. We don't have cheap labor. I mean, we have guys that go in, they slam it out, it's in and out. I mean, it's professional all the way. We use great materials, and we don't really even shortchange on labor. We don't go back and try to negotiate labor down much. We don't, you know, it's just, we want something that we hire a crew to do a job, they go in, they knock it out, it's 2-3 weeks later, it's not a bunch of hassle, it's in, it's out, it's done. That's, you know, we've got good guys that we've groomed sort of to do that, they're paid well, and they do a great job, you know, for that. So even though you'd say, wow, we can't even get unlicensed people to do half of that for that cost.
I can get mine for $10 an hour at rehab places. I mean, they're
Well,
desperate for work there.
Yeah,
And
so.
they're very talented too, they're not on drugs either.
Well, you've got, yeah, where do you
Contacts.
live?
Where?
What other areas of
Rehab places
Houston,
all over the
Ben,
place.
what other areas of Houston do you guys like?
I like Spring quite a bit, on the north side. As far as for like retail, sometimes we do buy and retail flips. I really love the Woodlands, anywhere up in there. We like South Texas as well. I'm sorry, South Houston, Sugarland area, things like that. Those are great areas as well for us in Houston. But really, what we look for is not so much what is the area, the suburb, and all that. What we look for is a price to rent ratio, and that's going to really determine for us where the quality of neighborhood is going to be. Okay, so for example, this particular home, if it was in a less desirable neighborhood, it might rent for $900 a month. Okay, the exact same home would rent for say $800 or $900 a month. If you're looking at pictures, if you're just going, if you don't know any better about the market, you're thinking, wow, great home, it looks just like this other one. But then you look at the rent and say, well, why is this one rent for $800 or $900 a month, or why is this one rent for $1,400 a month, or in this case $1,350? That is a pure dictation of the area, of the people that are living there, the median income for the area. So we do more on not, oh, I love Garland, Texas, let's say. We do more on, hey, I love a median income of $50,000. I love a minimum rents of $1,200 on a 3-bed. Those are the things that I look at and say, well, how do I determine really where I want to be? It's more from a demographic approach than it is from a, well, I just like this subdivision.
What about for flips?
Flips is the very same thing. We're looking for days on market, more or less, for flips. We want to see low days on market. We want to see the buyers that are coming in. We want to see a good mix of first-time buyers, conventional buyers, and even some cash buyers. And this is all just data that we get right from the MLS. So,
Are you going to talk about property management, or?
we will talk about property management. We'll leave that sort of towards the end. That's one of the things that people have sort of a lot of questions on, and so we'll queue those up right at the end.
Do you use local realtors to help you find stuff, or is it something you guys source yourselves?
It's a combination. We use realtors. We have a network of wholesalers, which are just guys that, you know, investors that are out pounding the doors for private sellers. They're sending the postcards, doing the thing, going to get the foreclosure list from the county, you know, all of that groundwork that goes into wholesaling. So we do, and we actually buy, I'd say, we buy more of our Texas properties from wholesalers than we do through agents and off the
Good
market.
place. As far as the increased rent, would you say the better areas are usually better school districts?
They are.
They are.
They are.
And how closely would you say things like Zillow, when it tells you the different numbers on those school districts, are they very accurate compared to what you've seen, or would you say just
I
kind of
mean,
like the prices on Zillow? You don't
Zillow is kind of just, it's sort of like they're off about as much in price,
as they are
in my
school
opinion,
districts?
as they are off in schools and
Gotcha.
other things of that nature. So Zillow,
You better do more homework.
do more homework. Yeah, Zillow's like a starting spot. Zillow's like, okay, ground zero. I have a sort of ballpark of where this thing might be based on Zillow's data. Zillow does an aggregate pull, right? They don't just necessarily pull finished homes that are renovated that have a tenant in place, they can't just pull that data.
Right.
So they do an aggregate pull over everything, which pulls that home, it pulls the distressed home, it pulls the bank foreclosure, it pulls everything. And it also pulls what's public. And so many sales are private between investors, and so when Zillow goes and pulls their aggregate data, they can only pull what they see. And so they can only pull what's public. And so every bank sale's public, every auction's public, all the distressed sales are public, right? Short sale, whatever it might be. But finished, renovated, turnkey properties typically are private. And if they don't go on the MLS and they're in a non-disclosure state like Texas, we don't have to disclose what we sold it for, to who we sold it for, or for how much, and nothing. So a lot of those sales get swept under the rug when it comes to Zillow and Trulia and every other site in America that goes and pulls aggregate public data. So
It really comes down to being in the area and knowing it.
being in the area, knowing it, and again, Zillow and it's ground level due diligence. It's ground zero. Okay, take that as a ballpark, and then do your own due diligence from there.
So I have a question, Ben.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you were to praise this house, or any house that you have, would you guarantee to praise at or above the value that you're priced at?
Guarantee is a dirty word in the business that I will not use. However, I will tell you that we're pretty darn close. If not, below. Sometimes our price might be even a little bit above what the appraiser thinks it's worth. Appraisers again are, what is an appraisal? Someone's opinion, right?
Well, if I want to sell that house, I better have a very close appraisal, otherwise I
Right.
can't sell the house.
Yeah, now unfortunately the appraiser's opinion sort of gets put in stone, and that's sort of what everybody goes by, lenders and everybody else. But again, an appraiser is an opinion of value. Now, we pull comps on every property before we buy it. And a lot of times we even do subject to appraisals, which is to say, okay, I take the appraiser, this is a non-renovated distressed property, we just bought the house, or we're just getting ready to buy the house. I want this appraiser to go out, here's my scope of work, here's everything we're going to do. Tell me what this home's going to be worth after I do my scope of work and my renovation. And so then we're not guessing at all. We have a really good idea of what this home's worth. And from the appraisals that we've had when people are buying, using conventional lending to get homes, our numbers are really right in line with appraisal. Sometimes our price is a little lower than appraisal, sometimes it's a little higher than appraisal, but it's, we're within 5% plus or minus typically of true appraisal value any day of the week. So
When you price these homes, besides cash flow, obviously the cash flow is attractive and in line with everybody else is selling similar product. When you price it, do you use professional appraisers to help you determine the sales value? Or I'm trying to understand, are you going for the cash flow to price your property, or are you really using the appraisal to do
It's
that?
really a combination of both, and that's really how we price them. It's a combination between it's much like commercial valuations are concerned. These are, in essence, commercial properties. They're small, singles, unit, but they're used for investment purposes, just like an apartment building would be. And so we do a sort of a comp approach in our own minds of saying, hey, what's the cap rate of this thing? What should it be? And that helps us determine end sales price. But then we also know the areas pretty well ourselves. We don't have to do much thinking and finding of data to support what our own ideas are just because we're familiar. But then we do, like I said, we do pull comps. We have comparable sales, within a mile of the property, within 25% plus or minus square foot, within 25% plus or minus year builds, I'm sorry, within 10 years plus or minus year build. So we go get comparable sales right off the MLS before we buy any home. And that helps us determine, just support our own opinion of value, And so when we go to sell the properties, it's really a combination between what is the cap rate, what is the value, and what is our number, and it's going to sort of just be right there. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
another question, very quick. after
Sure.
this. In terms of the return, obviously, we're looking at the growth of 12% that you listed in that column. Each state has different requirements for insurance and tax, and Texas does not have income tax, so I suspect that their property tax is probably higher. So if you net it all out, property management, all the fees that are associated with that area, what is the net for that price?
Yeah, we did our printing this morning, and the printer girl, she did both-sided printing. So on the front there, you have the gross on the right column, and then if you just flip it over to the back of that page, you'll see our net number, and then you'll see all the different expenses that we pull out of the gross to arrive at the net.
So that house is 7.5% net, so it's not high.
It depends on how you look at it. You know,
So
if you're
it's a
getting 2%
huge
in your
expense for
CD right
taxes.
now, or 3% or something, or you just have cash sitting in the bank earning zero, then 7.5 is pretty good. So it really depends on your perspective of whether that's high or not.
I'd like to look at the one that's 18.4. Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to those, and we'll show you. That's the C-class properties. We're gonna get to those as well. Kansas City property. This is B-class property. This is 10902 Hillcrest Road, Kansas City, Missouri. This is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, 1214 square foot. This one's not rented yet. In fact, it's just at the tail end of rehab. Right before we got out here, JT and I, who I'll introduce here in a moment, we went and shot a video of the property. We still had some workers over there. It was right at the end of rehab. We estimate the home's going to rent for $900 a month, and we've got a sales price here of $64,900. So what I would like to do is go ahead and cut to that video. And guys, am I boring anybody with the videos? I can stand here and talk, but I want to take you to these properties so you can really see and get a good feel of what we're doing. Is it okay that I do the videos?
Fine.
Okay, thank you.
I think we had some sound issues on some of these videos.
Do we?
Well, it sounded like one.
You know what? On that one, we do. We have
I think over the microphone.
we have a unexperienced cameraman behind the scenes working off an iPhone. Yeah. So here we go. Hillcrest Road. Hey everybody, it's Ben Walls. I'm here with JT Jennings. Right now we're in Kansas City, Missouri. We're looking at B-class properties, which are a little bit higher value properties here in Kansas City. Right now this address is 10209 Hillcrest Road. And John, tell us a little bit about this house.
This is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath on the main level. Potentially more bedrooms and more bathrooms on in the basement. We have decided if we do the basement, we're going to get more rents and that's what the property. But right now, we've already done some plumbing, some electrical, some painting, and also B-style properties are already more expensive, but a lot less rehab compared to our C-type properties, which are cheaper properties, but a lot more expensive rehab. This property will rent for $900 a month, like a $500. It'll be typically a married couple, a couple kids, combined income, probably at least $3,000 to $4,000 a month range.
As we've got some audio, the guy had, I think, his finger over the microphone. I'm talking about B-class properties and B-class neighborhoods, and I'm going to have them pan around here in a second so you can see the quality of the homes. You can see that the homes are well taken care of, well manicured. You can see newer vehicles, better, cleaner vehicles, that kind of thing, as compared to a C-grade neighborhood and home. And like I said, this one is right, we're just still at the tail end of renovations, finished work, punch out some things to do, finish some of the painting and some of the outside stuff. In fact, I'm gonna...
A lot more owners versus renters in these particular neighborhoods as well. So all of us will walk around the outside of the house, so we can show you the backyard and the back of the house, and then we'll come in and show the inside of the house.
How far is that from downtown?
Downtown, that's probably a 30-minute drive from downtown. South of the city, 20 at least. So depending on traffic.
Garage down below, another driveway below. This looked like at one time it was probably the garage and the head of the whole.
Audio.
backyard here, this back patio, poured concrete with the rounds around it. We've got the little storage shed over on the side. You can see this is a pretty good area, a pretty good sized area to have a barbecue on a Sunday, watching the Chiefs play. This is certainly a good area. It's just an extra amenity that tenants are going to really like when it comes to coming to rent this property. So we'll go ahead and walk in the back door here and see the inside of the home. You see this room was a garage before. They turned it into a living room or family room, or it could be considered a bedroom if the tenant wanted to use it as a bedroom. They could do that. And then up here's the kitchen. A lot of tile in this home. See all new paint. Cabinets been redone. The hardware's already been replaced. Cabinets already been painted. You got to remember to keep the countertops. Nice big open. You got a heated kitchen area over here. We do a lot of two-tone paint, but we also paint a lot of houses with accent walls, one color wall, like blue like this one, and another wall with a green color. You know, great trim. So you can see the paint scheme, how we did this one. We've got blue on these walls, and then we've got this gray slate color on the opposite walls. And so this gives it an accent feel. Not so dominating with the blue. We've got some other colors to offset that a little bit. I think it's going to come out pretty good. And you can see over here in the trim, whereas we started off, we painted all this white, kind of get the contrast of blue and white. Turns out that wasn't quite the look we were going for, so we're going over with this grayish color, and that's going to be the trim throughout. So there's 3 bedrooms up here, and then a full bath. Janet is over here, works with Eagle, and she's our painter. This home was probably purchased at one time from an elderly type person. It's got a handicap ramp coming in the home. The shower has all the handicap accessible handrails, and it doesn't have a tub, it's more of a shower. So if somebody on a wheelchair needed they'd actually have a seat in that bathroom and have the handrails to hold on to it. So it worked out good for somebody that's elderly. It's got an attic fan. And then we always supply a new stove and fridge for all of our tenants. And that goes for C-class properties and our B-class properties. Let's go up front. So you see here where the handicap accessible is. We got plenty of room there to park over here. We got another driver with the garage below.
We could put another bathroom in the basement.
All right, guys, hey, that's the end of the video here. This was 10209 Hillcrest Road in Kansas City, Missouri. This is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, B-class property. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, on this one, when we're fully done with renovation, we'll come back and take another video, and we'll show you that as well. So the price on this one.
Ben, what percentage of the houses in Kansas City, maybe TJ will know, have basements?
That one's a basement.
The Machetta,
That was?
90%.
90% have them?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one neighborhood that was built after the Vietnam War for veterans that it's called Ruskin Heights area. It's almost all slab homes, homes like that, but on a slab.
Okay.
Ranch styles on a slab. That neighborhood got taken out in the early 50s by tornadoes.
Well, it's tornado country, you need a basement.
Yeah, almost everything has a basement.
Yeah, most of them
Okay.
do. And one thing that you just mentioned, tornado country. A lot of investors, especially, we deal with people all over the world, you know, and certain people have certain understandings of things or not. Tornado Alley, right? Kansas, all that. You know, what happens if my house gets taken out by a tornado? Does anybody know the answer?
Money flies back?
Insurance. Thank you. I'm dealing with Americans. All right. You guys understand this? So yeah, insurance.
For a tornado over all my property.
Exactly right. If a tornado came through and just nails you, I mean, our portfolio just got a boost.
So typically around $500 a year for regular insurance, but when you have to deal with adding on tornado insurance, how much does that increase?
Well,
Fire is already covered.
Yeah, those are already covered as major perils, so it's not an extra.
It's not, it's
Yeah.
not like earthquake.
And is it average around 500 a year?
I mean, for this particular home, I think we estimated it to be 550.
Good, okay.
Our insurance is typically a little less than the individual investor's insurance, simply because we get just the bare bones basics, fire, I mean, that's it. We get the landlord coverage policies. Most investors, and that's good enough for anyone, by the way, but most investors will say, hey, I want liability, I want to insure in case of this, I want, you know, just extra riders. So what we quote as the insurance is what we think it ought to be for you, but we, you know, if you get a bigger policy or you want to cover more than, you know, if you want to do actual cash value versus replacement costs, you know, those type of things will all dictate your insurance
Well,
premium.
if it makes you feel any better, high fire insurance in California, in the hills of Santa Barbara, $4,000 to $10,000 a year.
Wow. Wow.
Seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
What about, I've heard
Yeah.
about flooding in Houston, is
Mhm.
the insurance extra in those vicinities?
It depends on where the house is. Houston does have some flood zones, and for those areas, it does cost a little bit extra insurance to cover that particular peril.
Do you
Yes.
guys try to stay out of that vicinity?
We do, but we don't always, it's not a no for us. You know, if it's in a flood zone, it doesn't mean it's a deal killer. It's just something that we need to go into, understanding that the cost of insurance is going to be a little bit higher.
And when you run into that, do you run into any special rehab problems?
Not really. Most of the renovations, I guess if there was anything that was major in Texas as far as sort of across the board with rehabs, Texas is primarily a very dry state. And because of that, the ground becomes dry and the foundations become brittle sometimes. And so we often see foundation problems in Texas. I mean, almost, I think every home I've probably ever done, well, not everyone, but more than 80% of the homes have had some sort of foundation issue. Whether that's just a crack in the brick along a window, whether that's actual differential movement on one wall or the other, whether that's a floor that's sort of sloping. That's really the only thing in Texas that I've seen that's sort of a kind of across the board what to expect of majors is foundations. Now, the good thing is foundations issues are really not that big of issues. You just like anything else, you know, hey, if your paint on the wall is not the right color, you hire a painter and go fix it, you know. If your foundation's out of scope or you've got some differential movement, hire a foundation guy and he goes and fix it. Lifetime warranty, transferable, the whole nine. So it's just something that we've got to be aware of and address, but it's never a deal killer for us.
And the city will inspect and flag the foundation problems and say this passes or this doesn't pass? It's not gonna be-
Really, that's not some cities are more oversight intensive than others. And in those cities, they do have their inspectors to sort of the scapo, you know, they come out and they, you know, that's their job is the sort of house police. Other cities are not quite so aggressive when it comes to that.
We hire a structural engineer, comes out, looks at it, writes a report, basically tells us how to fix the foundation the way he would do it.
Yeah.
Then after we do the foundation the way he would do it, he comes back and re-inspects and writes his report. And then if somebody gets financing on a home, then his report is what the bank would need to see to be able to approve the foundation.
And do you typically pass on houses that have foundation problems?
Typically,
Yeah.
but some of them, like the B-type houses, we can pick them up so inexpensive because nobody else will buy them.
Right.
And we can get a foundation repaired way cheaper than a subcontractor that charges a normal homeowner that will buy that house, fix the foundation, do it the way the structural engineer says, he'll come back and look at it, approve it. And sometimes we don't pass on it, but typically we